All right. How we doing? How we doing?
I can hear you.
I think we're good now. Let us know, guys. Comment. Let us know if it's good now. Sorry about that. Oh, well, now I know it's working because I can hear it on my laptop. All right. We are golden. What's up? What's up? What's up? We got volume now. Sorry, guys. We were just sharing our deepest, darkest secrets there for the first 5 minutes. All of our fears. But it's all right. We're good now. We're good now. I did. So we shout out Yuri's comment. We got Strip District Meats themselves in here. Is that your wife running the account? Who runs the Strip District Meats account?
That would be my wife.
Let's go. Let's go. That's awesome. Legendary. So sorry about that, guys. This is why we try to start a couple minutes early to diagnose things. Our mixer's been giving us some problems, and I'm not sure if it is us or the mixer. And listen, I'm not going to act like we're pro podcasters or anything. We've done enough at this point that we know how to set it up. I'm starting to think it's time to get that mixer replaced. But anyway, Danny Palm on the keys, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? Mixer worked for that. We got Brad Bangle. I had last episode, I had to ask how to say your last name after all this time. Pretty embarrassing, but hey. Strip District Media. We were talking about, and I want to revisit this because it's so ridiculous. You guys couldn't hear it, and it was one of the weirdest facts ever. Not weird, amazing. He sold 2,800 pounds of chicken wings for July 4th. Was that all on one day, just on July 3rd?
Yes.
A ton and a half of chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the biggest day in the store's history, you said?
Yep.
That's insane. Insane. So what, chicken wings, what's next? Hamburger, is it hamburger then?
Ground meat. Everything sold. That's what I can. Steaks galore, pork galore. I can't even ribs.
Equal opportunity.
I got 80 cases of ribs for the holiday as well.
Yeah, people love ribs on July 4th. That's true. What do people still buy, like the really high end stuff on July 4th?
They do.
For July 4th?
They do. I cut Japanese Wagyu all day long for people.
Dude, that blows my mind. Whenever we come in and do the meat bucks, like whoever wins, they come in and do their shopping spree. There's people buying that the whole time. Yeah. Like I see at least 2 people, which doesn't sound like much, but we're talking $500 in meat right there.
120 a pound.
Yeah, right. Like it's one of those things where when you see it, I'm like, there's no way people actually buy that. But you're like, no, dude, we sell that all day, every day. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. If you had, is it still Prime Strip? Is Prime Strip still your number one? This is the king of the meat mountain.
Well, it's my
meat
my go-to.
Yeah. What's your special occasion meat?
Probably the new Iberico pork that Danilo made me bring in.
That's awesome.
Really made me get it. It usually I had it in before, but you know, for the price, people just didn't buy it. They didn't know how good it was. But it is the Japanese A5 Wagyu pork, basically.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I've never had it. I'm gonna have to try that.
Oh,
is it the same cuts as most pork, or how do you buy it really?
I'm selling the money muscle. It's the Copa muscle out of the pork shoulder.
Yep.
And also, I believe I have a flank steak. I don't know if I have any of those left.
Interesting. Dude, the pork steak is still, for me, that's like the biggest revelation since really digging into Strip District meats. Those for $3 a piece.
Pound for pound.
The pound for pound king, for sure, in MMA terms. Sean Curtis in here. What's up, dude? He may know you, Special Olympics athlete. What's up, Sean? Nice to see you, dude. Fred's PA, nice to see you. Jim Taylor, no sound, but we got sound now. Let's go. Jim Taylor from the Academy, a Muay Thai guy, a beast. We're kind of looking, he's an older guy, so he's a little tough to match, but do you want a Muay Thai fight with Jim Taylor?
No.
Just set it up. Hey, guys, shout out to Brad, by the way. Indio Dojo blue belt now. Got his blue belt. Let's go. Air horn that. Let's go. Good. Dude, that's huge. But now you're not the best white belt in PA anymore.
That wasn't me. But anyway, that was my buddy, Andy.
Andy, yeah.
He's a blue belt as well now.
Was Andy at the fights? Was that him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you said it, I put the pieces together. I was like, oh, that must be Andy. But like, I've never seen him, so I didn't know what he looked like. But I was like, okay, that must be Andy. Nice. How do you like it?
Oh, he loves it. He's been going to every fight for a year now with me.
That's awesome, dude. And your son made another appearance at the fights.
He'll never miss one.
So I was going to say, he's a lifer now. I can already see it in his face. I also saw a little stack of cash on his side of the table. What was that all about, Brad?
Wow. We were betting on winners. I let him pick, and he won all the money. Like I said, the last time he picked every winner. He could just look at them. Kind of like that post you made today with the walkout.
Yeah.
He watches them walk out.
He just gets it.
He picks the corner.
He picks up on the vibe. That's beautiful. So for people who have never seen a Meat Bucks podcast, this is probably, excuse me, knew I had a burp coming. This is probably our what, like 10th or so? I don't know. There's been quite a few. There's been a lot of Meat Bucks winners.
I feel like a veteran here now.
Yeah. It's a lot. We've done it since BitB16 last April, I believe, was the first one we ever did. So however many events we've had since then. And what we do is whoever the best performance of the night, yeah, that's just math, right? Whoever the best performance of the night is wins a shopping spree to Strip District Meats, and it's awesome. We video it, they come in, they get like literally whatever they want and leave, and it's just incredible. Everybody's had a good time doing it.
And now they also get the Strip District Meats rash guard.
Boom, unveil that. Get that camera on him, Danny Palm.
So we
show that thing off.
We made these special.
Let's go. Look at that. The knife on the back.
So that only the Meat Bucks champs will be wearing these rash guards. I don't sell them. Maybe a few of my buddies have them, but they don't fight MMA, so it doesn't matter. But it's pretty cool. I know I sent one to Craig Perry. Justin Patton's got one.
Sick.
Who else has one? Carly Joe, I think I sent her one. Just
nice.
And I think there might be one more. Hootley has one.
Does Evan have one?
Evan has one.
Okay, makes sense. All the Indio guys got to have one.
Not
Hope
all.
and Bridget?
Hope and Bridget have one.
Not all of them. Damn. Ken Burrs is out there like, where's my rash guard, Brad?
I got it for you, Kenny. But no, seriously, it's like the Meat Bucks champ. I wish I would have put it on there, but
dude, hey, there can be new designs. You know, this won't be the last rash guard ever. This is the early prototype. Kind of like ours. We just got our rash guards too, started selling them. Siebert and Patton have them. And I don't know. I don't even know if people bought them at the show, honestly. Maybe there's more out there now.
I never leave my seat. Other than
I know.
Go to the
Yeah.
bathroom.
I mean, I'm constantly just walking around. Like I barely even watch the fights when I'm.
I gotta check out your merchandise next time.
Dude, honestly, our merch is getting nice, robust. Like at first, it was just a handful of shirts. Then we had a few more designs, hoodie, rash guard. We got like the ring card girl outfits you can buy for women. It's pretty sick. It's actually super nice now. So it's not, I mean, it's all part of the growth, man, in no small part because of Strip District Meats and this partnership, man. So I appreciate it.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah. So what we do, as you guys saw throughout the day, there's been a lot of voting on social media, as we were also talking about when it was muted there at the beginning. There were votes all day. Like always, it's incredible to see how this Meat Bucks has just like blown up. People know what it is now. We don't even really need to explain it. But if this is your first time, what we do is we vote on the performance of the night. So it's not necessarily knockout of the night, not necessarily submission of the night, not necessarily fight of the night. Performance of the night, the single most impressive performance from Saturday, which was Brawl in the Burgh 21.5 and Brawl in the Burgh 22. So we've got how many fights? We're at 22 fights, I think, combined. 21, 22. And whoever got it, who was the most impressive fighter out of those 42 fighters? So only one can win. In the past, we've awarded multiple just out of like we get caught up in the hype and we just say
this is too hard to pick.
It's too hard to pick. They're both getting it. But I'm telling you right now, one person's getting it this time.
And it's
we got to stick to it.
The hands down hardest one to pick.
Easily.
Easily the hardest one to pick.
For sure, the disclaimer early. The disclaimer early is if you do not win Meat Bucks, it does not mean we weren't impressed by your performance.
Yes.
I swear, this one was like so impossible to pick, man. So impossible. Starting at 21.5, I'm going to start out with Shaka Worthy because that one alone was like on pretty much any other day, that one would have won.
Exactly.
And it's not fair to Shaka if he doesn't win. I honestly don't know who you're voting for. So Shaka might win. I don't know. But if he doesn't, it's like domination body and said he was plundering them ribs. So Strip District Meats ribs. We got a nice time in there.
There was a lot of first round finishes.
Oh, insane.
Probably 5.
Yeah, dude. An insane amount. How many, Danny, do you know off the top of your head how many first round finishes there were? There was a stretch where it was like
after Hope. I feel like Hope set the
Hope
tone.
started it all. Hope, Taylor, Nico, Moose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a stretch of
there's
just
a ton.
insane. it was just one of those magical cards. And like we kind of said or knew, did the stream die? Dude, we're having the technical issues tonight. Telling you what, we kind of knew going in. Does it still say it's running, Danny? It's fine. Okay, just paused on my Instagram. Whatever. We kind of knew going in. We were like, this might be literally our best card ever, if not the best, like for sure one of the best. And we said that, but then you never know how it's actually going to materialize. And then when it did, it was like, yeah, that's exactly what we had in mind. Even the advanced amateur fight on that card, Noah versus Gabe, dude,
that was amazing,
dude.
That could have won
fight.
any performance of the night on any
for
card.
For sure. That was another one that you knew, not just like 7-0 versus 4-0 is cool to market and everything, but we've been around this game long enough. Not all 7-0s and 4-0s are created equal.
Right.
Like you can be a pretty bad 4-0 sometimes. But we knew going in that was absolutely not the case with those two, and they totally proved it. Like even Noah getting his first loss, now 4-1. Like I still think he's one of the best pro prospects like in this area for sure. He's going to be so good.
Up until the time they raised their hands, they didn't know who won.
Exactly. Yeah, nobody knew. I mean, it was that close. And Gabe's going to be sick. Cowboy Eddie said I wasn't on. It wasn't the best card ever. Well,
speaking of Cowboy Eddie, I plan on listening to that podcast on the way home.
I listened to it on the way here, actually. So shout out Ish and the Relentless Project. Cowboy Eddie was just on that. It's a great listen, as you would expect with Cowboy Eddie. I mean,
I heard that. That's why I can't wait to listen.
He's a one-of-a-kind character for sure. And after the fights on Saturday, after the two cards, he was in prime Cowboy Eddie form after the fights. Good. With a little bit of tequila, perhaps, fueling that. But September 21st, going to be here soon, Cowboy. I'm just saying. I heard Cowboy Eddie's been on the Strip District Meats like chicken wing diet pretty hard lately. So I think like out of that 1.5 tons, I think he ate like a 1/4 ton of it. There's a reason he drives an F-150, but dude, we got to get Cowboy Eddie in on September. It's been too long without Cowboy Eddie in the cage, so let's run that. But for now, we're running meat bucks, 21.5 and 22 combined. I'm going to start with the fan vote because, like I said, these were just completely blowing up, and it was so close that Facebook actually determined the winner.
Ooh.
Which is crazy. Instagram, Moose won. Facebook, Hope won.
Ooh.
Combined, Hope won.
Okay, Hope. So
Hope took the fan vote despite a crazy performance from Moose on that as well. Like it was clearly running away with Moose and Hope, the fan votes. They were tearing it up. Kaiser was there. Shaka was there. There were a few other like thrown in here and there voting, but it was by far the Moose and Hope show. And I don't know if Hope maybe did like a group text with her family or something. I'm not sure what she did, but there was a specific point in time at like 3 p.m. where all of a sudden all of these Hope comments. Yeah, it was just like clearly some message got out there. Nice. So Hope won the fan vote. Now, how it works from here is Danny Palm gets a vote, Brad gets a vote, I get a vote, and the owner promoter Ryan gets a vote, who's not here, but he gave me his vote, so I know who he's voting for. And we're going to go ahead and just unveil him, award a winner, and when you win, you get to come to Brad's beautiful establishment down in the Strip District.
I'm so nervous.
And just shopping spree it up. So, Brad, we text a lot after the fight. Well, before all the time, really, but after the fights, just talking about this one. And we couldn't decide who we were going to vote for, dude. Like, who? Let me just ask you this question, and this might not be who you're voting for now, but at the end of the night Saturday, who did you think you were voting for? Like, who in your head was just buzzing right after the show?
Everybody was super impressive. It was, 10 pro fights? That was what we were supposed to have. Maybe one.
It was 9 when Jay's dropped out, yeah.
And boy, did it deliver. I mean, I have a top 4 still. I don't know who I'm picking still.
You got a Mount Rushmore of choices.
And,
let's go.
But right after the fights, I was most impressed by Moose. His hands were, I've never seen somebody throw punches like Moose. Yeah. And to see that live, that floored me. And I immediately thought I should vote for Moose because, and not only, he could have knocked that guy out, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he saved his opponent, and his opponent kind of gave him that guillotine and didn't want any more shots.
Moose took it. Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, when you break down your opponent to that level, I mean, it was like you said, it was a masterclass, dude.
yeah,
But I will say, for Moose's part, winning by submission was like worst case scenario for future matchmaking because he's this national champ boxer with hands like that. But he also two submission wins now in his career. It's like, God, man, what are you?
But that's how bad people don't want to get hit again by him.
I mean, there's something to be said for that. Something to be said for
there
that.
was a point where I saw his opponent's head snap back, but I didn't see his hand hit him.
Like, that speed. Wow. That speed. I mean, when you watch it, dude, it really was the next level because Moose has never competed for us before. So I never saw him fight in person. I've heard about him.
I didn't know anything about it. He walked out with Bo Nickel.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
That's a
and boy did he deliver.
Yeah, dude. That whole American Top Team Happy Valley team is blowing my mind lately. Right. Like ever since Noah Hermosillo kind of cracked the seal with them competing for us, and he was insanely impressive.
Right.
And then just everybody since then that they've brought, even in defeat, like Derek Keene and Javane Baker competed for them and each lost at BitB 21.5 and 22. But like right there.
Yeah, they brought it.
Right there. Derek Keene was a debut, 19, 20-year-old debut facing Jesse Sidhu from Stout, who was 4-0 Muay Thai. So debut versus 4-0. Like he had a crazy experience deficit against him and hung in there. Like for sure lost. It was a fair that he lost the fight, but he did not look out of place at all.
He's got a lot of experience he's training with.
For sure. For sure. That room is pretty special with, like you said, Bo, Anthony Cassar, all the Coach Barbosa and Freitas there. Like they got it going on at ATT Happy Valley. If I was in that area and wanting to train, wanting to fight, you better be getting there is all I'm saying. They're doing it right. They're doing it right. So shout out to Moose for being kind of Brad's instant pick, but we're going to get to the real picks here in a second. I'm going to give you guys Ryan's first since he's not there here. He's not there. He is there. He's not here. He picked, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll. He picked Brogan Andres.
Great pick.
Insane pick. And I'll say it threw me at first when he said that. I was like, really? But then I was remembering the fight. I was like, yeah, dude, that was sick. Judo throw, arm triangle from the bottom, sweep, finish, put him out cold, put Nico out cold.
Beautiful.
Insane.
To perfection. I had no idea who he was either. I thought Nico was going to win the fight when they came out. Brogan, super professional.
Yeah, dude. He's what's his record now, Daniel? Is he 3-4?
3-3 now.
3-3. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, really experienced guy for sure. Had more experience than Nico, and it showed. It showed there. I mean, I think he's either a brown or a black belt in both BJJ and judo. So I'm not sure which one's brown, which one's black, but he clearly showed all of that in that fight. I mean, his ground game was just nasty,
right?
And that sets him up in a good spot now. Like Danny said, gets back to 500. That's coming off a huge win with a great crowd, like a lot of shine on that win. That's going to be good for his career. I'm excited to see what's next for him for sure.
He was in my top 4 as well. Yeah, what did I say that to you as soon as I got here?
Yeah.
Like sleeper pick was Brogan. He was
sleeper. I see what you did there.
That was that was slick. I mean, I've never seen somebody pull off that arm triangle from the bottom.
Nasty.
Especially in a pro fight, and put his opponent to sleep. I think it was like in 1 minute.
Yeah, dude, it was quick. It was definitely quick. And also, I was talking to Nico after the fight, and he was telling me about it. And when I rewatched, I totally noticed it. Nico threw an elbow that missed, and Brogan trapped the elbow. That's how he got the arm. And I was like, dude, just thinking like how small miscalculations, dude, can cost you in this. And Brogan being that veteran savvy to snag that off a missed elbow that fast, dude. Insane performance from him. So very well deserved for the vote there. So we've got 1 vote for Hope Chase. We've got 1 vote for Brogan. I feel like we got to kick it to Mr. Daniel Palm. Danny Palm. This is a tough choice, my friend.
Yeah, this one was really tough, but my vote is going to Moose.
Ooh.
Moose. Dude, we're going to have a split like 1-1-1-1.
You know, that's the only meat I really can't buy and sell.
Oh, you can't sell moose? Really?
Their temperament's too high to farm raise.
Whoa.
Yeah, moose will just bust down any fence and get out of there.
They're pretty beastly.
Yeah, they are.
People underestimate how big an actual moose is, for sure. People don't realize how big of a creature that is.
It's a good nickname for him. And how about Bo wearing the Wagyu hat?
Sick. I figured you would appreciate that.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
First thing I noticed when I walked in the door.
Bo's definitely a big steak guy for sure.
I should have met him before then.
I know. We should have introduced you guys. I don't know why we didn't do that. Maybe if Moose wins, maybe Bo will come in and be part of the shopping spree, help him pick out some steaks. That would be sick. That would definitely be sick.
He knows his way around.
He definitely does. Follow, yeah, for sure. Bo on Instagram. His meat game is strong. Yeah, fan vote counts as one. Our votes each count as one. That's how it works. We just had a fan comment asking how much the fan vote counts for. So I don't know. I don't want to kick it to Brad just yet. I want to talk about who else is in the running for you. Who else, when you're just thinking about like who else are you thinking this could be the winner?
Well, I gotta shout out Taylor Cahill. I mean, he could have won on any card. That was a complete domination over Marcus Williamson.
Yeah.
What was that first round?
Oh yeah, it was quick.
Perfect technique, everything.
It was methodical, step by step.
Any damage at all?
No, I don't think so either.
Tom Kaiser,
bro.
Yeah, that was my second.
I mean, watching it over and over, like the first time you see it, you're like, "Ooh, he knocked him out cold." But then you keep watching it over and you see like his technique and framing the back of his head,
dude.
The elbows he was dropped. I mean, that was a great matchup.
It was.
Dalton Jones was a stud.
He is.
I was sitting next to his table.
Yeah.
He's a stud. They were both beast in there at 155.
Those are big 155ers, dude.
And yeah, Tom really handled him. I mean, I don't know. That power and that technique was unmatched.
Yeah.
He's got 3 first-round knockouts on his pro career.
Yeah.
And he has 0 meat bucks. So I don't know. And Hope completely dominated her fight with wonderful skill.
May also not have gotten touched.
Yeah. Took 0 damage.
Yeah.
First round finish. So my top 4 were Hope, Kaiser, the Moose, and Brogan Andres.
Yeah. Which is all super fair. Like, I think when you break down this card, you got to look at it that way. I do think if Patton rocks Tobias pretty good in the first round, definitely dropped him.
Patton can win that on
any given night.
Any given night. And
he's already won it twice.
To watch people like Patton and Siebert go out there
so
comfortable in that ring or in that cage and not, I mean, I just competed.
Yeah.
I have a completely new respect for these guys.
For sure.
I don't know how they get in there and they're laughing and having such a good time.
When they're comfortable, it's wild. Yeah. I was listening. We were talking. I don't remember if we were muted. No, I don't think we were muted. But the Cowboy Eddie podcast, he talks about it with Ish, how his very first fight, which was at BitB16, he said, like, when they lock the cage and you're just in there with the other dude and the dude literally locks the cage and leaves and you realize it's just you two and a ref, he's like, I don't care how tough you think you are, dude. Like, you're nervous. That first one, you're nervous, bro. And of course, like, how could you not be nervous about that?
But that adrenaline dump is serious.
Oh, for sure. How many fighters do we see just totally their debut? You just
gas right
after
out
the first round.
Right.
Yeah. But it's part of it. And honestly, it's one thing that I love that we do. We focus a lot on the production, making it feel like a big moment for them. The walkouts are big. They've got a cameraman right in front of them, following them the whole way. We want it to feel like a big show for them.
Right.
So it's cool for a lot of these debuts to feel that, maybe never having been in that environment before and just seeing how they react to that. So for me, it's like part of the process that I really like is seeing, okay, there's also 1,300 people here. Like, it's a pretty good crowd.
We've seen a few debuters trip on their way in.
Dude, we've seen it. We've seen it all. And we almost saw it. Danny, remember at Sprawl in the Burgh when Tanner Hall almost took his head off jumping in the cage, dude? So our old cage, when the door opened, the top of the cage was still there. At the top of the door, like, you could hit your head off. And he like jumped into the cage. Dude, he missed it by like that much. And dude, like, if he would have hit it, he really might have knocked himself out, if not worse. Like, he took a good jump. I was like, oh my God. But now our new cage, the top is attached to the door, so it swings out. No more. Tanner, you can jump in all you want now, brother. But that's on the meat bucks, show that rash guard again, dude. I want to see, because I can't remember when our sound dropped out. I don't remember if we.
So you win the
plugged this
meat
with
bucks
sound.
and the rash guard.
That's
so that you
awesome.
can brag around. Only meat bucks champs are going to have this rash guard.
It's also just worth seeing again.
It is not
I
for
love
sale.
that. That's awesome.
Just for
Super
champs.
exclusive for meat bucks winners. So not
Super
only
exclusive.
do you get all the beef, chicken, pork, whatever you want, he's got the wild game. Wild game's really popular for meat bucks.
You've been popping on some wild game lately.
Dude, the kangaroo was fire. That
Yeah?
was so good. I didn't know what to expect, and to be honest with you, I would have just thought it was deer tenderloin. If I ate it, tasted, felt the same, all of it, just totally reminded me of deer tenderloin, which is a great thing.
They're kind of like a deer.
Yeah, I like a hoppy deer.
Yeah, like a deer on his back feet.
It literally looks like that. I mean,
Right.
when you think about it, basically that. But yeah, I didn't know what to expect. But how do you? This is me just being interested in the business side. How do you get all these wild meat? Because I always heard that it was illegal to sell like venison and stuff. Like Giant Eagle doesn't sell
it
venison.
is.
You know what I
You
mean?
can't hunt it. You can't hunt these animals and sell it. I mean, that would be. Could you imagine? There'd be no animals on the earth.
Right.
Everybody would just be
Yes.
hunting
And selling
and
their meat. Yeah.
So they have to be farm raised, and there are farms that raise exotic game
Okay.
for that purpose. And we deal with one out in California, Broadleaf. We pretty much deal with them. We have a few other companies, but they're our main supplier. We sell a lot of Australian beef and a lot of like we import for our exotics. Everything
Sure.
else is going to be.
That's what else I wanted to ask you, because, and I'm not just tooting your horn because I buy a lot of stuff from you. My parents do, my friends do. Why, like, you don't have to give away where you get them if it's like an industry secret, but your average like ribeye is so much better than like a Giant Eagle ribeye. It just is. Like, why is it so much better?
I think because big box stores and chain, they're all worried about the bottom dollar, and there are ways for butchers to buy a lower grade and call it something else. I mean, I just think they're buying probably a less quality than I am. The lowest quality I will buy is choice. And I know some grocery stores, the highest they carry is select.
Right.
Like that's below choice.
Below choice, yeah.
So I start above where they end.
Well, that makes perfect sense then.
I mean, other stores have great meat too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's how they all are, but if you're just going and you're buying a T-bone for $6.98, chances are it's going to taste that way.
It's going to taste like $6.98 T-bone. But Christy in the chat as well, shedding some knowledge for the people. So if you see Strip District Meats commenting, that's Brad's wife, Christy, in there. She said, in the U.S. as a retailer, you must buy from a USDA processor.
Yes, you must.
Interesting. There's legalities to all of it, just like promoting too.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but fortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you would trust people on the side of the road with a deer hanging there. How long's that been hanging there, buddy? So it must be regulated, or else we'd have a lot of foodborne illness in this country.
The Yelp reviews would be out of control on homemade butchers. But yeah, dude, that's awesome though, because my parents say the same thing, because they're, like I've told you a lot, they cook a lot. They really care about it. And when they get stuff from you, they're like, why is it just so much better? I'm like, I don't know. Like, it just is though. Like, it definitely is.
Everybody asks me that. But I know Ray's dad always said, if you start with a great product, you can't lose.
It's kind of funny that it's that simple, but it kind of is, right? At some level, if you buy and sell high quality meat, you're going to get a high quality result.
We don't try to pull the wool over your eyes.
Yeah.
We believe in hard work, and we do the hard work and sell it to you for what it should be. We're not going to crank up our margins and beat you over the head. We're going to give you the best quality at the best margin we can give it to you, and we're going to work our butts off to get it there.
That's awesome. And one more thing I think you'll notice when you go, if you guys have never been to Strip District Meats, like, you can ask any of your workers anything about meat. They're super educated. They know everything about every cut. The last time I was there, I was asking one of your workers, like, what's the difference between a skirt steak and a flank steak and a hanger steak? Because they all seem real similar to me. When I cook them, it's like they're all similar. And she broke it down to a T. I forget now. I'm not going to lie. I forget. But she knew. I was like, damn.
It was
all right.
Rachel.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Nice.
She was awesome. And I was like, that's great to know. But now I'm just buying whichever one's the cheapest out of those, because I can't tell them apart.
I like them all differently, I think.
Yeah.
I like the skirt probably the best. It's the
Yeah.
most expensive, obviously. And then flank and hanger.
They're bangers, though.
Yeah,
They're all so good.
They all
dude.
marinate well.
Yes. And that's always what I do.
You have to cut
grill
them
it.
all across the grain.
Yep. That's
But
the biggest thing.
It is.
If you cut with the grain on those, you just got a chewy mess,
Yeah.
dude.
It's a totally different experience. You'll say it's the worst steak you ever had in your life just by the way you cut it.
And you ruined it. It was your fault.
Right.
And you're blaming the meat. Unbelievable. Well, you can't blame the meat at Strip District Meats, ladies and gentlemen. That's for dang sure. Dude, how did you like, this is semi-aside, but how'd you like your logo in the cage, by the way?
Oh, it
It's
looked
looking
awesome.
fresh.
It looked really nice. Your cage looked huge.
Yeah, I
It
know.
looked beautiful.
It looked awesome, dude.
It really did. The
Shout out.
lights, everything. It looks very professional.
Thanks, man. That was Kama Worthy's wife, Nicole Worthy, hand painted the
Wow.
logos on the cage.
I
the
saw
canvas.
somebody hand paint. I
How
didn't know
cool
that
is
was
that?
Thomas' wife.
Yeah, she killed it, man. It looked amazing.
She definitely did. It looks great.
Yeah. So the Strip District Meats logo on the cage, on the rash guard, and it's about to be in some fighter's
Ooh.
freezer.
I still don't know who.
Brad still doesn't know.
sweating.
Should I go? Should I give my vote?
Yeah.
So we've got Hope Chase, fan vote. We've got Moose from Danny Palm. We've got Brogan from Ryan. I'm not, I swear on my life, I'm not doing this just for dramatic effect. This was always my pick from Saturday. Tom Kaiser. This was always going to be my pick.
I can vouch. I asked Hunter when he came in what his pick was.
Yeah.
He told me that too.
It's been Kaiser from the jump, and I'm not wavering from it, even though, like, as we talk, you can talk yourself into any of them. Like we said, they all deserve it, like, including Shaka. Like, Shaka was a dark horse for me to pick because I just thought everything he's had in his career, he constantly, like, we'll call it like it is. He takes bad fights out of town, and that's why his record's upside down. Like, he takes fights he shouldn't, and everybody knows that. But everybody also knows in the gym, Shaka's like the man. He is a dog, and everybody knows that there's a level that he hasn't really shown, and he showed it in that one. So I feel like that was a huge moment for him to kind of get that monkey off his back and be like, okay, everything you've heard about me is true. Like, I can be that guy, and there it was. So it could legit end up being a turning point in his career, which would be awesome. And that body shot, a body shot's always sick.
Right.
Do you sell liver?
I do. A lot of liver.
There you go. Well, Shaka certainly destroyed the liver
and ribs.
liver and ribs. Perfect. But here's the other thing. And Shaka, I'm sorry that I'm holding this against you with the vote. Shaka's a vegan.
Oh,
what's he gonna get at Strip District Meats, bro?
Is his dad a vegan too?
I really don't know. I don't know. I think Kama's a vegan too. So
well then
probably the whole family is, if I had to guess at that point.
Oh man.
Do you sell any Beyond Beef stuff?
No, we tried and Ray shut it down, and I'm like, why? Why are we shutting it? Now I agree with him. Like, I don't even want to sell that stuff.
Nice. That's so for people, Ray is the owner and his father-in-law, Brad's father-in-law. How old's Ray?
Ray's 71, going on 72 here in a month.
Beautiful. And he's owned the store 58 too? 50 what?
So his dad started it, but he came in very early. What have we been in business for? 1952, so 72 years.
Whoa. Look at that, adding right up with his life.
So he hasn't been it. Well, that's how old he is. So his dad had it before.
I got you.
But he's been it for probably since he was a kid.
Yeah, for sure. But I say all that to say Ray is a good old school Pittsburgh boy.
Oh yeah.
Imagine him selling Impossible Burgers. He's not doing it, bro. Sorry, Shaka. I did hold that against you a little bit. I'm very sorry. Brad's the man. We got Gazda 94 in the chat.
Oh, my man.
Is that a dude?
Yes, he trains with us at India.
Let's go. We did also note at the top of the show, sorry, that we also said that at the beginning. There's gnats. Ryan, what's going on at your office, bro? Where is the dead body? Because there are gnats.
Dude, I told you.
It's a great look. It's gnat. That's all right. You probably just got some like meat juice on your hands or something from earlier.
So we got one vote for everybody right
There's
now.
literally a vote apiece. Like, you're going to be the deciding factor if you pick somebody that's already been picked.
So to break it down, I'm going to go with, I have Hope, I have Moose, and I'm only going to go top three. I'm going to say Tom Kaiser is my top three.
And each of those people already have a vote.
They're all very well deserving of the meat box. I'd say Hope started the night off. I think her energy was, felt by everybody. I think without her, we wouldn't have had all these great finishes.
Dude.
She totally dominated, took 0 damage. Wonderful BJJ. Finished. It took her 4.5 minutes or something, from triangle to armbar. Beautiful finish.
Dude.
Against a stud. I mean, I never saw the girl do anything, but I heard she was very good.
She's very good. Great gym.
She was
fighter.
what, 4 inches taller than her
Yeah.
or something? Then you got Kaiser, who's had 3 first-round knockouts in his pro career.
Yep.
First-round knockouts.
He's also 3-0 with 247 specifically. Not those 3, two of them. 3-0 with 247, all finishes also.
Wonderful. It wasn't like a luck of the draw thing. Like that was,
he said
he predicted, he made that happen.
Yeah.
And knocked him out cold. That's a tough one. And then I have Moose, who had hands like I've never seen in my life, which was probably the most impressive thing to me. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Hang on, Danny, can you get us
and I had
2
to
more
see
beers?
I had to see Hope this morning too. And
yeah, that's the thing. That's the other thing. So you guys need to note also, he's got an Indio Dojo shirt, but Brad trains at Indio. If he doesn't pick Hope, he
I'm
has
probably
to explain that to her.
I'm gonna get beat up by a lot of people.
I mean, that's just how it goes. But in your defense, there's been a lot of non-Indio winners, obviously, when an Indio person could have. It's not, you're not biased. You're very fair with these picks.
Right.
And when an Indio fighter won, like Darusi, like they genuinely deserved it on that card, no doubt.
I mean, it is, I'm going to take a lot of hell if I don't say Hope, but I don't. My vote's going to be for Musa.
Ooh.
I have to do it. Al Suleimani. Is that how you say his name?
I think you nailed it, dude. Way better than when Ryan says it. That's for sure.
I mean, I think he deserves the meat bucks. I'd like to see him come down.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him fight again for 247. And my pitch to you, I'd like to see Tom Kaiser,
bro,
step up to about 170. Is that the weight class?
Yeah, 170.
And fight the Moose.
I'm all the way sold on that.
And let's settle this confusion of who should have won the meat box.
I'm all the way sold on that.
But Hope, I'm so sorry. And Bridget too. I didn't get a chance to talk about Bridget Chase and her performance. Those 2 girls,
savages.
I thought the whole production with their fight, the walkout, the speeches after the fights,
totally.
The way they carry themselves, the way they prepare themselves for the fights, those 2 are on a different level. I think it should be noted that they are on a different level.
Yeah.
I wish I could have voted for one of them. I would have voted for them. Hope would have won on any other card. So would a lot of these people. But
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I just echo literally everything you just said. But on Hope, I just want to expand a little bit because she was the first pro fight of the night, which usually means you're near the end of a card. But on this one meant she was the 5th fight of the night out of 13, very early in the night. So like you said, in terms of setting the tone for... Oh! Danny, what did you do to his beer, bro?
Sorry. Straight out of the case.
Oh, man. What a
Danny?
prankster Danny Palm is. He's out here giving Brad a shaken up can. I think Moose was shadow boxing with that can in his hand a second ago. But Hope came out, and like you said, dude, from the walkout. I mean, I had texts. I still have the text. Friends, family, people watching at home, people watching there, like, who is this Hope Chase girl? I already love her. Like, her intensity is wild. And Ryan said it a million times leading up. Like, wait till you see how intense the Chase sisters are on fight night. And they're different in the best way.
If
possible.
You ever met them outside of there, you'd never know it.
Nicest, even right after the fight, they're the nicest people ever. Like, yeah, I love and have always loved since even when my degree was in journalism, I covered the sport for a decade, traveling around, covering the UFC, interviewing UFC fighters, managers, coaches, all that stuff. My favorite part of the sport was always getting to know more about the fighters' personalities, the psychology of it, why do you want to fight for a living? It's a crazy way to make a living. Like, why would you ever do that? But my favorite part within that is that switch, that fight night switch. When you
Right.
get a dude who you know right now would be right here having a beer laughing, and then when it's fight night, he turns into this savage. And it's like, what is that?
Right.
Because I don't like in most people's normal lives, you don't need that switch. You don't feel that switch. So when you see people who can do it and do it and do it and have it honed in like the Chase sisters,
The strength to control that switch.
Oh my God, the mental strength is
Right.
so impressive, man. And Bridget, I'm laughing because it's amazing. She was like the most stone cold killer warming up that I've ever seen. That I've lit, and I'm not. That's not hyperbole. That I've ever seen warming up. Like I go around, I talk to everybody before the fights. I was staying away from her, bro. I was like, I'm not breaking that zone. I don't know what's going on. She might kick me in the head. I don't know.
I mean,
yeah,
her
it was
fight,
crazy.
How she controlled that fight in every aspect.
Yeah,
That girl could not take her kicks, could not. She controlled the range. She controlled the stand up. She controlled the ground. Wonderful fight by Bridget Chase.
And shout out Gabby Holloway for being also one of the toughest people probably on earth. Like, she's never been we talked about it again in the lead up.
Right.
12 pro fights, now 13 pro fights, never been finished, and fought Cyborg, fought Bridget Chase, fought Kat Zingano, Alexis Dufresne, Julia Budd. She fought literally the best of the best female MMA, never been finished. And Bridget, after round 1, dominated, and I was like, she's definitely going to finish her.
Right.
Couldn't finish her. Like,
she was
Gabby's
definitely
tough,
gassed.
dude.
She was definitely
I
gassed.
know. She just has absolutely no quit, which is kind of an ironic word choice there, because I did see a post from Gabby afterwards saying that she's done boxing or fighting MMA. So she retired from that. I think she said she'll still like wrestle and do jiu-jitsu competitions, but no more MMA or boxing. So Gabby, it was a killer career, and we were honored to have you, and very glad that got to be your last one. Unfortunately, you didn't go out on a high note and a win like I'm sure you wanted, but that performance impressed everybody for sure. Yeah, Bridget and Hope, super shout out. They probably deserve meat bucks also, but like we said at the top, one winner, man. There had to be one. We do it a lot where like we end up giving 2, and it just kind of dilutes that.
It does.
It dilutes it. And as much as Hope definitely deserves it, and Kaiser definitely deserves it, and Shaka definitely deserves it, there's got to be one.
I know.
Got to be one.
We're going to take shit no matter who we pick. So.
For sure.
And also, I got to shout out to Bryce De Leon.
Yeah.
On his debut fight against Tyler Cavelli. That was a very
Great
nice fight. I mean, it is very difficult in amateur roles to get the job done. But I thought they both displayed a lot of great techniques out there, especially being Bryce's first fight. He had a great fight, and he deserved the win, I thought.
So, yeah, I watched it back, and I saw a lot of people saying that Tyler should have won. And it's one of those fights for me where like they both, like, it's totally 50-50. It's not bad that Bryce won. It's not bad if Tyler won. It wasn't a robbery either way.
But there were a couple of them mounts that Bryce had. If that was not amateur.
Yeah, different story.
But I mean, Tyler definitely seemed to have the flow on the feet.
Yeah.
But he wasn't really causing any damage. So but it was a good fight. I thought, shout out to both of them.
Heck yeah. I want to make you feel better, Brad. Hope commented and said, "Be honest, I won't beat you up. Respect." So she's not going to beat you up for choosing Moose.
Thank you, Hope.
I don't think there's ever been a card where the votes were 1-1-1-1-1-2 like that. Like, it's usually like 4-1 to 1 or something like that. You know, there's usually a consensus, but that just perfectly shows how stacked this card was.
I mean, there's nothing more Hope could have done. So
no.
Do it again, Hope, and you're going to win them meat bucks.
Do it again on a card without 10 other pro fights. Yeah. Shout out. Who are we forgetting? I want to, because we didn't really talk about the cards too much. Lucas Siebert, obviously. We got to talk about the main event.
I'd love to talk about
BitB21.5. I know.
We didn't talk about Justin too much either.
No, we didn't talk about Justin or Kamo that much.
And I like all the action Justin's bringing online after the fight.
I'm here for that. He keeps receipts, dude. He keeps receipts. There's no doubt about it.
He's a special fighter.
Yeah.
Every time he goes, it's a solid performance.
Yeah.
Fireworks every time.
He's now 7-3, I believe, as a pro, and he's won 6 out of his last 7. That's the streak? And the loss was to Kyle Zimick in a fight that
I think I saw that one.
Yeah, you were there for sure. It's BitB17, I want to say. So if he doesn't get caught in that guillotine in the 3rd round, he probably wins that fight too, and is on a 7-fight winning streak, 8-2, and probably legit looking at like a contender series shot or something. So Justin's right there, dude. Watching his progression has been amazing.
I mean, I don't think you can knock him out. He can take some heat.
I've never,
He can bang.
knock on wood, since what was that Amy fight? Danny, was that an Amy fight we watched?
Yeah, it was an old Amy fight.
He got caught as an Amy once, but other than that, like you're right. I've
He's
never
tough.
seen him even like get rocked. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I've seen him take some shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he takes shots.
He's
no
not
doubt.
scared to trade blows.
His last 2 fights, he's taken shots, but I mean, he's starting to prove like if you want to get in that kind of fight with me, you're gonna lose it. Like he's better at that now.
But he kind of Lucas Siebert reminds me of Justin a little bit.
Ooh, I like that. I like
Just
the
in the-
comparison.
Just how comfortable they both are in the ring
And
and how they have their own style.
for sure.
They
For
look
sure.
they look like pros out there.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, you can tell. You can see the level distinctly up when they're in the cage, which is on that BitB22 card. We saw that a lot. That was easily the most skilled card we've ever
Oh,
put
yeah.
together. And not just, again, we were talking about like Gabe and Noah Kiska. Not all 7-0 Amis are created equal.
and it was crazy because you had like Amis and then you had pros.
yeah. Dude, that jump was wild.
It was wild.
Yeah.
It was a wild jump.
Even, especially, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, but they all started there at Ami
Exactly.
and they all look the same.
Exactly.
And now look where they are. With
Yeah.
a little bit of work. I love it.
The bigger thing that you'll notice when it goes from Amory to pros live, at least, is just the length of the rounds. Like that 5-minute round feels so much longer after
yeah.
you've watched a lot of Amory, but there were so many 1st-round finishes that that never really set in as much.
But how fast is a 2-minute round?
Oh, dude, it's just
they don't
over.
even get to the ground or anything.
I
It's
know.
like ding, ding, ding.
I know.
I don't think we talked about Joey Perry.
We didn't talk about Joey Perry, but we absolutely can. He fought Moose's teammate,
Yeah.
Javane Baker.
That
So,
guy was obviously no joke. He
Yeah.
trains with a lot of dogs. And I know Andy commented on Joey Perry's shorts, I guess. Some kind of
what were they?
they were
I don't remember off the top of my head.
maybe some kind of Midwestern wrestling short.
Okay,
Like,
makes sense.
dude was like yeah.
Clear wrestler.
He knew he was a good
Yeah,
wrestler.
yeah.
That's why we all picked Joey Perry to win.
Wait, Danny, is he saying that somebody from the Mat Factory is a good wrestler? That doesn't sound
Right.
sound possible, does
Right.
it?
No, not at all.
You must have the wrong guy, Brad.
I think the only other fights we didn't talk about was Raiden Kovacs and Bronco
how have
Busick.
we not talked about that? Oh my god. Maybe my favorite fight of the night.
It was a good one.
Oh my goodness, dude. Just like the spectacle of it. I was talking with Will Morrill, Stouts, one coach with Wilkins, and Will loves like open weight fights. And
Mhm.
even though that was a heavyweight fight, that was an open weight
Yeah.
fight, bro. Like Bronco's clearly a 205
Right.
fighting up. Fun fact behind the scenes. Never mind. Somebody might get in trouble if I share this, but Bronco weighed in at 220, and it was 220 was generous. We'll just say that. He had all his clothes on. Like you're supposed to still, take your clothes off for the weigh-in. He had all his clothes on and stuff. So he was 220 with like his absolute heaviest. So
Mhm.
he was probably actually like 215. And fought Raiden, who legit cuts weight to make heavyweight. He was 264 and a half. Like he has to cut weight to get 265. And the mat return that Bronco had on Raiden, even though Bronco did lose the fight, that was the moment of the fight for me where I was just like, dude, how cool is that? The little dude, like David versus Goliath, he just slammed Goliath.
Yeah.
That was sick. The crowd went nuts. I remember the pop in the arena just being awesome for that.
He landed some huge shots.
He
too.
did, dude. Shout out to Raiden's chin.
I'm saying he
Oh
ate
my
everything.
God.
He ate it all. Everything. He
unbelievable.
was tough, dude.
Raiden's so tough and very skilled. And I think you see a 6'6", 265 heavyweight and you think he's going to be this lumbering goon, and he's not that
You think
at
he's
all.
going to run out of gas?
Yeah.
He didn't even get winded.
No, not
He
at
was
all.
taking big shots.
In fact, he was the fresher fighter by
I
then.
thought so.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
but also carrying 265 pounds around the cage is a little
Very
brutal.
impressed by that. Very impressed.
Raiden's super impressive, man. And another guy who started his pro career on a sour note. He lost his pro debut by knockout, and now has kind of turned it around. He's on a good path now. So that's cool to see you guys kind of stick it out, figure it out, work from there. Moose in the chat. There you go. Claiming his stakes. Thank you guys. It was a pleasure competing on 247. Thanks, dude. Yeah, Moose has been a long time coming. I think if people have followed the podcast, he was one of the very first episodes, like maybe episode 10 or so. I don't know off the top of my head. But this was before he was ever even considering fighting for us or anything. I just heard about him and been like, hey, he sounds like an interesting guy.
Mhm.
It was a great podcast. And now what, like probably 2.5 years after that, he debuts for us as a pro. Really cool moment for
He's
sure.
special.
Yeah. Super special.
We didn't talk about one other fight.
Lay it on me.
Do you know which one?
I should off the top. Selena Brown
Yes.
and Zoe Eris. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the only fight we didn't talk about. And that was a barn burner from the jump.
Insane.
I mean, that was an Amy fight, right? Or
no, it was Amy, novice Amy. Yeah.
Novice Amy.
Yep.
They came out swinging. And Zosite, is that how you say her name?
That's how I think so. Yeah.
That's who my son picked to win. And
nice.
she won.
And she did.
That's where you saw that money.
That was a close decision, man. A really good fight. And that was one I remember walking around the cage. I was walking back near like where our step and repeat set up. And I had no less than 3 people stop me and be like, bro, girl fights always bring the heat. I love when girls fight. And I was like, I know, dude. Like they got after it.
I thought Selena might have had that one, to be honest. And
it was
a coin flip. Really.
Exactly like Covelli and De Leon, which was right before
it's super hard to finish an amateur fight, man.
Yeah.
And then you leave it up to the judges.
Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, and that's why we always stress your amateur record doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't mean anything. When you go pro, what was John Jones's amateur record? Bro?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Nobody cares. I bet he was undefeated, but nobody cares.
Right.
But
that's like, why it only pays you to take on a quality opponent.
Exactly. Get ready. Like a loss at AMI is really not a loss at all, as long as you're learning from it and growing from it and getting better.
Yeah. If you get that adrenaline dump at pro, good luck.
That's going to be problematic for you when you're a pro. That's not, and also you've got, half your purse riding on that and everything. You don't want to lose half your money because your cardio wasn't there. You got an adrenaline dump. So all in all, super safe to say that was a night that a whole day, like it was 2 cards technically, but I think the whole company sees it as 1 card because I think I said it on a previous podcast. The only reason it was split was that the commission only allows 14 fights, a card max. We never wanted to split it. We were trying to hope that we could like sweet talk them. Like, are you sure you won't let us do 20 this time? 23? But it just wasn't like there's a hard line in the sand now with 14, which respect. You gotta respect the rules of the game, of course. So we had to split it into 2, but for all intents and purposes, planning purposes for us, that was 1 card for us. Like the way we looked at it was we just booked a crazy day of fights. And when you look at it that way, that was easily the best day in 247 history of fights. I mean, there's no other way to look at it.
So we're going to do it again?
I might rather die, Brad. It did not feel like 1 card. I'll give you that. That day and the day before, the whole week, it was really fight week as a whole. And then by Saturday, it felt pretty good. Like Danny knows this and Ryan for sure knows this, but like once the first fight is in the cage and happening, it's just like the weight of the world falls off your shoulders. Like, thank God we made it. They're fighting. It's good. We're going. And then you're just rolling after that. Like our team is so well oiled at this point. Like, dude, shout out our entire setup team, Jesse Acton, Josh, Brian, Steve, like everybody behind the scenes. You guys kill it. There is no better feeling for me than knowing once it's Saturday night and it's showtime, they got it handled. You know what I mean? I never worry about them doing their job and doing it extremely well.
And you don't even see them doing their job.
I know. And that's how it should be,
that
honestly.
Is how it should be.
Yeah. Well, your staff too, man. We know that from I mean, I shouted out your workers earlier, but you know that too. Managing us, I'm sure when you have to leave for something, the store's in good hands and that feels good.
Always.
Nice. And you brought your boy, Evan, right, to the last show?
Eric.
Eric, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Damn. E names.
Yeah, he wants to fight in your cage one day.
I keep hearing that. Where you at, Eric? Where you at, Brad?
He's at Indio training now.
I mean, if you're at Indio, you're in the right place. Let's be honest. There's is it anybody else training at Indio at the store?
I have I have 2 guys in the cutting room, Gage, who I trained with at Indio, then I got him to come work at the store. And
that's awesome.
Eric, I talked into working there, and then another guy in the front, Damon, one of my clerks, just joined Indio as well.
Shout out Damon. Has he been to the fights with you yet?
Not yet.
Next one?
Maybe. We'll see if we can get him there.
How do you decide who gets your tickets, by the way? I was curious about this.
If they work at the store, they get first choice.
Nice.
But a lot of times it's tough because all my guys work hard. They work long hours and they all have families too. So
yeah,
it's hard to get them out. But when they do come out, they're never upset.
Well, everybody working at Strip District Meats, September 21st is our next show.
I won't be there, actually.
What?
Oh.
No.
I know. I have to go to Italy for a wedding.
You have to.
I have to go
Wow,
to
they
Italy.
twisted your arm to go to Italy.
I'll be
What a
watching
shame.
live. Don't worry.
Watch it international 247 live. Put it. The wedding will probably have like a projector. They'll probably let you put it up.
Yeah.
Nothing rings in love like
we gotta
face
watch for
punching.
meat bucks, guys.
It's all about the meat bucks.
How is Sunnyside Arena coming?
Awesome, dude.
I'm super stoked for that.
Yeah, man. We got some really good news on that. Like right before this last card, actually. So we had, just for people following along, we finalized a permanent space. So we've got our own little like UFC Apex Center in the works.
Awesome.
Yeah. Sunny Days Arena at the venue from our sponsor, Sunny Days In Home Care. They're awesome and they love what we do. We love what they do. The partnership's great. So their name, we're working on their sign right now. The sign's looking great. Like everything's going to be really cool. But we got our own space where we're going to be able to hold our own events now and not have to worry about rentals and all the
tear down setup.
Yes, the logistics of setting up a show, which if you've done one, and if you haven't done one, you really can't understand it till you do. It sucks, man. It really sucks. Like it really is a grind, and that's why when I shout out our setup crew, like, man, I mean that because you don't have to worry about them, and that is such a relief. But Sunny Days Arena at the venue is going to be in North for Sales. It was an old movie theater. It's about 30,000 square feet altogether, but it's 2 stories, so that's divided between a lower and upper. Cage is going to be on the lower level, right in the center. There's going to be crazy good viewing from the top.
Yeah.
And the owners that we're leasing from are doing the build out of that for us right now. And we didn't know progress wise. Initially, we thought like August or so. Things in the construction space move very slowly, which we were warned of and we knew. So it was dragging on. We're like, maybe like early 2025 at this point. But then right before this show, we got news that they're still on track for August. So that's a podcast exclusive.
Yeah, I was nervous.
Yeah,
like,
I know. Me too.
Is my dad and brother going to go to the arena before me? Am I tickets?
So there's a chance. There's a chance the September 21st show could still be at our new place if it's ready.
The last time I took the kids to the movies to see that Inside Out 2.
Yeah,
and
nice.
We went down to the Phoenix right there, the oldest
in Bridgeville.
And I'm looking around like, man, this would be an awesome 247 event center right here.
Well, you see the vision.
Pretty much what it's like. There is an upstairs there. I can see the bar at the top looking down on the fight. Oh,
I mean, it's exactly it.
It's going to be sick.
When we walked in the first time and when you hear like a movie theater is going to be an event center, you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. When we saw it, we're like, this is it, bro. This is it. This is what we've always wanted. So the most exciting thing about it is that over time, we're going to keep building onto it, tweaking it, making it even more perfect. Like maybe, I mean, this is like pie in the sky dream, but maybe even like stadium seating, like tiered seating, stuff like that. It's going to be sick right off the bat, but it's only going to get better once we're in there and reinvesting in it.
I never see you guys stop working. Every show gets better. Every even your live feeds get better.
Thanks,
watching
I know.
the production is awesome.
Dude, that last one was money in the bank.
Watched it 4 times. I had to.
You're the best, dude.
I had to.
You're the best.
I couldn't choose.
I've watched it once. You're like, you're a bigger 247 fan than me, maybe.
Well, I mean, I feel like I owe it to these guys to give them my best pick.
That's very responsible of you. I respect that.
They're working really hard.
They are. There's no doubt about that.
Nobody sees that.
Right.
They just see him get in the ring, and you hear like some of the fans that don't train. Oh, just kick his ass.
Just stand up.
Oh, I'd beat that guy's butt.
Yeah, totally. You would.
Like, you have no idea how much they're working to go in there, poise, calm, and just to be able to do that when somebody's trying to kill you. So much respect for these guys. So I feel like I owe it to them to make sure I make the right decision.
That's awesome. Yeah. Shout out every single fighter, 42, 44, whatever, however many there were that Saturday. Shout out all of them for getting in there, doing it. People don't realize not only the work training wise that you have to do to get ready for a fight, but making weight, doing all your paperwork, traveling logistics, getting there. There's a lot of planning that goes into literally just getting there, let alone performing in the fight. So to do all that is just super impressive. And we had like no issues. It was great, man.
Just staying healthy. How about that?
That's tough.
Not getting hurt in training.
Yeah. Little tweak can
Eating right.
Sideline you.
Yeah. Everything has to be right.
Tell you who's going to be eating right, Brad. Moose.
The Moose.
Moose will be eating real well here real soon. And
oh, yeah.
Christy just commented he was watching again yesterday. He takes notes. He's dedicated. Dude, that's awesome. I freaking love it.
I was watching again today.
Just do you watch it at work, like in the back, just on your phone? Just
yeah, right.
That thing up.
I don't have time for a phone at work.
You guys need a TV back there in the cutting room. Just throw fights on a loop all day. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Just cut your hand off looking at the fight. The saw's going. Dude. I do want to shout out before we wrap this up. Back in your cutting room, that stand-up cooler, I'm not sure what you call it, where you had the elk hanging.
Yes.
That was one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen in my life. Like a full-skinned elk.
Who was coming in that day?
I think it was Patton.
I think it was Patton. Like we were going to have him take some
box it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have.
Why didn't we do
Why
that?
did we not take advantage of that?
I don't know, dude. But Patton beating up a skinned elk would have been probably the best content we've ever had.
It probably would have.
Except for two dudes kissing at weigh-ins.
Oh. Let's talk about that.
Dude, that video is going to hit 1 million views on Instagram. Literally.
I couldn't tell. Were you a wrestler or a basketball player? Because that was
basketball.
I saw the box out, man. Basketball. That was good footwork.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I'm real proud of how I handled. I kept Cam behind me. I had tabs on Cam and Malcolm at the same time. Bro, being big has advantages.
It almost looked like you trained for that.
I didn't at all, as you know.
You were calm. You separated them.
Dude, professional. We're just professionals here.
Who won that fight?
Malcolm. Malcolm looked great, by the way.
The guy who got kissed?
No, the dude who did the kissing.
Won?
Yeah.
Wow.
So not to diminish his moment, because he's obviously going to be more known for kissing Cam at weigh-ins than for the fight. But, dude, all respect to Malcolm in terms of his fighting abilities. That dude can fight. He looked really good everywhere the fight went. I was like, oh, snap. For a debut, he looked phenomenal. I mean, and
that looked like a first kiss, you know, like
insane.
Did he mean to do it, but did he know what he was doing?
So here for podcast listeners, we had our dude Ish Lopez was doing post-fight interviews that whole card, and we're starting to release those this week. He got one with Malcolm, and they talk about it. So if you want to know why he kissed him, you're about to have the answer. So you'll see that very soon, and it's awesome. But that video literally has like 990,000 views on Instagram right now. It's going to hit 1 million. Yeah. It really is going to hit 1 million.
Like it went viral.
It did. MMA Junkie picked it up.
Yeah.
I was like, we work our asses off, and this is the thing that blows up. Like, finally, we made it. We just needed dudes to kiss at weigh-ins. Oh, dude. That is the world we live in, brother. That is the world we live in. Yeah, man, it's crazy. But it ended up being a good fight. And shout out Cam for being such a good sport, because right after I asked him, like, out of respect, I was like, we want to post this because obviously we know people are going to love it. And he's like, bro, post it, post the kiss, post everything. He's like, that happened. Like, that happened. I can't believe that happened. You might as well post it. So if you guys go to that video on our Instagram and just check the comments, there's literally like 2,000 comments now. You're going to have some hard laughs.
Now people are going to know who Cam is.
Exactly.
You know,
Cam and Malcolm both. And they're both getting heat. They're both taking some. I'm taking bullets in the comments. It's a good time. It's a real fun browse. But it made me think of, like, you always hear guys like Joe Rogan, super celebrities, anybody with like millions of followers, saying that they never check their comments because of how toxic it is. And we've had popular posts, of course, but never anything like this. Never 1 million views, you know, or 2,000 comments. And I'm always like, what are the like toxic comments? I understand now. The comments on that post, I'm like, bro, what the hell? Like, what's wrong with the world? It's crazy, some of the comments.
I commented something on like Meat Dad's thing before. I got a bunch of flack from some people. I don't even look at it.
Yeah. When they're like, just post and ghost is what they call it. Just post and then never look at it again. And that's honestly the way to do it.
I think that's what all the fighters should do. I noticed some of the fighters, you can't even comment to them.
Yeah, right.
That's super smart.
I totally agree.
You don't need to hear that noise because everybody's only going to try to tear you down.
Yeah, for sure. The second you mess up, they're going to gloat and they're going to love it. And that's probably the weakest thing you could ever do, to be honest.
They're only going to talk smack on you. They're not there to show you love. No way.
No. Joe Giannetti, I don't know how familiar you guys are with him, but he was on The Ultimate Fighter. He's a fighter out of New England. Really talented pro lightweight. And did he have an actual fight in the UFC, or did he not make it after he lost the finale?
Yeah, I believe he had one.
Okay, so he was briefly in the UFC, but for sure on the Ultimate Fighter, made the finals. He just had a post like yesterday or the day before where he like opened up about losing the Ultimate Fighter finale and how he realized the people that were actually there for him versus the people that were literally just waiting on him to fail.
Oh yeah,
dude, it was a good read. Like exactly what you just said, where like you can't really understand what these guys are going through unless you've gone through it. And chances are, if you're making those kind of comments, you've never gone through it.
I mean, it's probably worth saying it's got to be the hardest profession out there.
If it's not, it's close. Like I can't think of much else. I'm sure there's stuff.
Nobody's watching you train.
No, it's so thankless.
They might cheer for you on fight night, but they're, you know,
yeah,
most people are hoping you're going to get knocked out.
Yeah,
takes a tough dude to be a fighter.
Yeah, man. The dedication, like you said, the dieting, the training, the time away from family. There's so many aspects to it that just make it almost impossible, which is like anybody who makes it to the UFC. I think it's hilarious when people trash talk UFC fighter. Right. It's like, dude, you don't just to be there, you have to be somebody. Like you are special.
You see Nate Diaz trash that reporter.
Yeah, dude.
What are you gonna do when you get knocked out? Like dude, seriously, these people say this stuff. And yeah. I see it in football too all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
A bunch of guys that are like don't belong. They've never touched a football in their life, but they know how to win the game.
Oh, for sure. For sure. They're better than those guys. Yeah, there's 53 dudes on an active football roster. The 53 best, like, yeah, it's a crazy competitive sport. Think how many people play football in America. And there's what's 53 times 32, whatever that is. There's that many.
Basketball.
Oh, yeah, that's even better. It's even a better example because there's way fewer.
5
dudes in a starting lineup.
How many?
Everybody plays basketball.
You know, like is there 10 scholarships, Division I for basketball?
Crazy, man. It is absolutely crazy. We got Stout Pittsburgh Fight Team joining the video very late, but nice to see you guys. Musa Al Sulaimani won the Meat Bucks, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go, Moose.
American Top Team, Happy Valley Zone. Come on in, Moose. Text me. Let's set up a time to get down to Strip District Meats and go on a little shopping spree, dude. You certainly earned it. Those hands were lethal, and I'm excited to see what kind of meat you pick out. Definitely take some notes from Bo or bring Bo with you to help you out because we know Bo knows meat.
Since we don't carry moose, I'm sure he's going to get the Wagyu.
He's got to get elk. It's like a moose's closest cousin that you sell, right? Do you sell reindeer or caribou?
I did. It's hard to come by.
Yeah.
It's hard to come by, but it comes like management hunts, I believe.
Okay.
So I did get it, but it wasn't around Christmas, so I was bummed out.
Dang, selling Rudolph on Christmas. It's kind of dark, bro, but I like
partridge.
What is that? What is that? Literally.
It's a bird.
Oh, partridge is a bird. Oh,
yeah,
it wasn't a pear tree. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What kind of bird? Is it good?
It's like a little game bird.
Okay. Kind of like pheasant?
No? Little smaller.
Okay. Quail?
Little bigger.
All right. We've nailed it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Meat Bucks podcast with Brad from Strip District Meats. Moose, if you didn't see, hold up that rash guard one more time. You're not only winning Meat Bucks, you're winning a Strip District Meats rash guard, my friend. Custom made. Only for Meat Bucks winners. Exclusive. You can't buy it. You got to win it. You got to be a savage. So if you guys ever see somebody training in that rash guard, you know they're somebody, bro.
You better stand clear.
Don't mess with them. Thanks for joining, dude. Honestly,
thanks for having me.
One of my favorite podcasts every show. So I appreciate everything you guys do, not just for the show, obviously, but for us in general. The partnership's great. It's awesome to see it growing.
We appreciate you guys as well.
Thanks, bro. We'll be down and I'll be shopping after Moose per usual.
I can't wait to see what you pick this time.
Yeah, let's go.